In theory, it's going to be perfectly smooth. Only a couple of us hanging out. Try that again. Hey, come back. Good evening, Kurt. How's it going? Are you still funded with Take Profit Trader? Boom. We got it. We're golden. Golden as can be.
Hey, evening.
Good evening. How are you? How's your funded account going?
Good.
Okay, nice.
I
Slow.
just got another 5 points, just like right around what, 7:30?
That's right. You're just doing a 5 point take profit.
Five to 10. Yeah.
Okay, not bad. What, your
Yep.
stop is 1 to 1 or no?
Yeah. So I'm just waiting for the momentum to kick in and just snag that little move.
It works, man. I like it. I like it a lot, honestly. I do.
Yep.
Well, I'm happy for you. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a little crazy, as far as like times of day and stuff because of the railroad and whatnot, but like I didn't get anything on that drop today that I wanted, but I was sleeping. So, because I got to work tonight.
Hey, that's okay. Some people are up at 4 a.m. and I can't be doing that. So
Yeah,
that's just a no. I'll pass. Just no thank you. But
I
okay, guys.
know. It's all good.
Well, that's the beauty of the market. I mean, if you're not trading your own personal money, if you're trading your personal money, though, they really do lower your overnight leverage. I was surprised. I was like, how is my margin so low on my live accounts? I didn't even realize it because I don't usually trade those in PM, except for me testing. I was surprised. You literally have no leverage to be trading other than New York time, like on your AMP account, for example. So. That's the beauty of prop firms. There are drawbacks. I know some of the rules suck. Apex rules are sucky, but they're possible, and the whole purpose is a seven-figure payday. So, but welcome, welcome everyone. Was only got a couple of us hanging out, so let's see what we can't find. My team advised me, and rightfully so, to make sure I did the disclaimer because, well, we need to. So, disclaimer, you guys already know this stuff. Don't trade what you can't afford to lose. Please put a cap on all the challenges you buy. It's okay, like have a budget that says I'm gonna buy, depending on what your budget is, two or four or five or even 10 a month, depending on which prop firm and what your budget is. But put a cap on it and then continue to trade and do your thing. And if you're out of accounts, you have to wait till next month or next rebuild. That doesn't have to be the end of the world. Or, in another alternative is reset. You get one reset or something a week or something, whatever's going to work for your budget, your prop firm, but just put a cap on it. So that's my 2 cents there. We are rebuilding out. There's quite a few things going on the website. We've got a great team of things going on. But all of the prop firms that I usually work with are all on there. There's a couple that I'm still waiting on. My funded features won't give me a link or anything, which I don't, I've applied, but they haven't approved it yet. But other than that one, everything that I do work with and love is on there. I'm still testing a whole host of other ones. I might kind of back that down a little bit. But please do scan this link, check them out. It costs you nothing. It helps us build to give away more prop firms and just to get bigger in the space. So that's that. Use code 6FTC, and there you go. But we're recording. All those things are good to go. I'm gonna minimize this. I thought it would be a good view, but it wasn't. Hold on. Move some of these windows out. I had a tech nightmare this morning because I got new stuff, and then right when I went to go press start this morning, everything was like, yeah, no thanks. I'll pass. And then it's kind of been a day for it. So let's take a look as soon as I get this positioned a little bit better to where I can see it at least. I'm going to go to the 1 hour. I'm going to disable all of the indicators for sure. We finally broke through this little 1 hour trend line. So we caught that sell today. It actually ended up hitting this imbalance that we marked up kind of beautifully. It just took all day to do it. And then since market closed and reopened, we're in another good spot. So we'll see. Obviously, we're going to want to pull back, but big picture stuff, I've said before, I'll say again, I'm looking for something along the lines of about a 4 to 5% drop on NQ particularly. Now we know that the Nvidia pushed this up. It's all over the news. It's popping up everywhere. I'm sure that what is it, MicroStrategy and everything else. I think there's other factors too, but everything else is backing up. This should be falling, that there's quite a bit of imbalance to the downside, about 17 to 20% to the downside. Not that I'm going to call that out by any means. And it doesn't mean we can't continue to push up levels. We need to break this area for sure. So for now, small time frame stuff, come back up, hopefully grab a little bit of this if we need to, come down, break this low, and actually stay below because we've really struggled to get back below the 22,805s. We've really, really struggled with that. So, we need to get below the 22,800s before we're really looking for sell side stuff. And even then, we've got more support at the 22,600. So, big picture stuff, I'm still looking all the way down at the 22,150s, 22,200 area. And that is going to give us a pretty good, from where price is currently sitting right now, all the way down. That's only a 3.8% drop. So it's not, screaming for blood in the streets or calling the bear market or whatever else. It's just looking for a healthy retracement. This has moved 40% in the last 120 days. And that's wild. With very minimal retracement, we've left a ton of gaps to the downside. But we'll see because it's anybody's market at this point. We've got this huge move since April. It's just huge. In total, 40%. Which if you guys think about it, QQQ, this moves 40% in a year, like at the end of the year. So this is a pretty big move to not have a lot of digestion. So we'll see. We've got tariffs, we've got a different president, we've got a whole different market that we need to consider, but that's that. Right now, tonight, this evening, we're gonna go where the breakout goes. I will tell you guys very honestly, especially for the prop firm stuff, I'm leaning very heavily toward the JGS, right? The golden strategy, just because I get a much earlier entry, right? I can manage it tighter. I can get the profits that I need, the points that I need, and then get out, and or I can let it run with the, moving average. And it's just so simple because sometimes, as we know, New York is a great time, but it does this, and then it makes us move. So yeah, New York used to maybe would have could have been the best time to trade, and maybe in some ways it still is. But if you guys go back historically, a lot of these moves are happening in London and Asian and 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. So whatever time works best for you, you do you and just make the market move to your, preference there around your schedule. So we're on the 15-minute time frame now. NQ, we are in this imbalance right now. We still have this huge imbalance here. I'd like to see us at least come up into this area. If we're going to lose this area, I'm not going to be looking for a whole bunch. Mostly if we lose this, to take all the way down here is going to be kind of a hefty ask, I think, without some bit of a retracement, but it's possible. So if and when we drop lower this evening, I'm going to be looking, my next price point for entries, well, for exit's going to be like 926 area, give or take, is where I'm going to be looking to exit. But really, if I'm selling this without any bit of a retracement, I'm going to be babying that very tightly. As you guys know, for my prop firms, I'm mostly using a lot of management where possible. So if we're buying up, we've got a beautiful imbalance here. We've got, what is that, Monday's low, Monday's high here. Got a new Monday high all the way up in here, but previous structure and an imbalance and structure to the downside, structure to the upside. So I really like this area to come back, tap into this, give us a strong wick to maybe give us that longer term play to the downside. So we'll see. But we've got 2 minutes to opening 8 p.m. Can't even say opening bell because that's cap. Caught this buy beautifully, actually, and then we ended up dropping. Right now, we are still sitting above all of these bigger time frame trend lines to the upside. We've got market close here, lows to take here. There's definitely some liquidity sitting down at the 318s ish. Beyond below that, we've got another imbalance in this area that's got previous structure, a lot of value, a lot of volume there. So we'll see. I wouldn't mind either direction because big picture stuff, I'd like this to go up a lot more, especially given everything going on around the world, plus previous highs. But we'll see. We've really been in this holding pattern. This, if you kind of picture a channel, we're on the lower end of this bigger time frame channel. So that's that. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Good evening. Thank you, William. You're the best. But here we go. So this is 1 minute until opening bell. Well, opening bell's cap, but you guys get the idea. I've got up my Apex account mirroring only to about, I don't even know how many, a lot of accounts. A lot of accounts. Most of them are mirroring in micros, This way I can kind of manage and mitigate and I don't hit any of the rules or the consistency. If I need to kind of pull that one out for payout or whatever, or just trying to flip the account to get the days, I have that turned down. Um, but we're seeing I'm still using Trader Sync for the most part for a lot of what I'm doing. It definitely has some weaknesses, but as of now, Traders Connect actually also has Booyah, we're on. Traders Connect actually also has some capacity, which I think will go really well. I just think the price is going to be too high to make it manageable. Because if you're trying to put 60 accounts on there, you're looking at $600, and that's just kind of lunacy, but we'll see. Gold, minute and a half left. NQ. Looking like we want to break. So on JGS, we've got our entry, we've got our retest. If we take this high and have this break of structure, obviously we're going to be targeting to these next highs. So that's where we're going to be going, but we'll see. This is a much better entry. We've got vectoring to the downside, confirming upside potential. And gold is looking like it's going to give to the bottom. But we'll see. We're going to be patient. Very, 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 very patient. We have been rainy day weather here in Florida nonstop, and it's giving that like low key, chill out kind of vibe over and over again. Hey Charlotte, how are you doing? You were the first one on here. And Q, we still got another 30 seconds left.
Hi, I'm great. I'm still in Indiana, up Chicago area.
You like
I'm
it?
yeah, I'm free now, but I got to see my mom and everything. I'm so happy. Um, Hopefully I'll get to come back. So I've been missing a lot of information. So I'm gonna get back with you guys.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you're chiming in, and I hope you enjoy your little summer holiday there.
Oh yes, I've enjoyed. I've been getting spoiled.
Best part of going home is you get
Yes,
somebody else's cooking and doing all of it.
yes, yes.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Gold's breaking to the downside, you guys. So I'm gonna go over to my Apex, looking for my entry on gold. Oh, it's not party. Short. I don't need to give it that much room. Some days are smooth, some days just aren't. Where do we say we're targeting? So I'm in this trade, can't unbe in this trade. I can close it, but I can't unbe in it otherwise. So that's it. Gold in here. And let's look at NQ just wicked to half of that range, and it's not really going anywhere just yet. But neither is gold. We also had a lot of volume, PM. So I don't want to get too trapped. That's your full body move to the downside. We're breaking past JGS. If I'm selling this, I'm going to be very quick on the trigger to protect. I'm just not in love with taking a sell. Although rules based, it's there. Rule based, it's definitely there. But I've already got gold on the evening. We're also just tapping into quite a few little imbalances. There's another one here that I don't want to like get whipped into and then get knocked out. Let's take a look at gold. But that's one, not quite 50% of the range. Gold is trying. It's just not going very fast or very far. I'm in $10. $10 in drawdown on a mini is definitely not bad. Definitely not at all. But we are pulling up for a minute. Even if all we have to do is come down into this VWAP, come tap this little gapped area would be nice. We're in profit now. Well, we were for a minute, a second, a hyper second. Let's see what we can't get. NQ is confirming to the downside. We've got our close, but we're sitting at VWAP right now. Hola. And let's wait. NQ's moving to the downside. And gold is still just sitting below. Your stop loss, for those of you using breakout strategy, you can be using 50% of the range. You can use the other end of the range. And for someone who's got enough room, you can even use all the way up into here. That's still not an outsized amount of risk. I'm just giving it that much room. So at the end of the day, it's going to be up to you. To give you an idea of how many contracts that is on $500 risk. So I'm guessing even if you're risking 350 because the volume is pretty low, the ATR is pretty low. That's still quite a bit. So this is not a lot of risk, even if you're going to give it all the way up into this window. Not a lot of risk at all. And NQ is the mover tonight. It's funny because on the nights I'm like, oh nope, I'm taking NQ first. And it didn't miss gold, and gold was smooth and quick. This time I'm like, nope, I don't love the direction of that, so I'm gonna skip it. And NQ is performing perfectly. What Kurt was saying, 5 points, that's already your 10 points right there. Already done. Already done, son. But I'm not in it, so I'm okay with that. I like the risk better on gold. Now we just need it to perform, and it's okay. Win, lose, or draw. This is not a lot of risk. Figure, gosh, at one contract, 250. I'm guessing 200 even. That's still 1.48. So to kind of give you $200 worth of risk, that's your stop losses way there. Kind of give you an idea. But I'm sitting in drawdown and I'm not holding NQ. How rude, because NQ is doing great. Beautiful. I'm not even in it. Yes. Oil, perfectly and smooth, 2-minute time frame, 8 p.m. move. MYM, beautiful, 2-minute time frame, 8 p.m. move. And the one that I'm in is the one that's like, yeah, no thanks. No thanks. I'm gonna watch how it kind of closes in this area. $90 drawdown. So figure the bigger accounts has less than $100 risk on it. The smaller accounts have between $10 and $22 risk on it. So let's see how this performs. Let's see together. Hopefully we just tap in and then drop. But we'll see. I'm gonna be patient. $50 risk exposed right now. So even this whole range is $220-ish risk itself. And that's it. Yeah, that was smooth on NQ. I kid you not, you guys. And most nights I'm like, no, we're on NQ and this one's chopping around for a hot minute. Today I'm like, I'm on gold, and it's just how it goes. There's literally nothing you can do about it. Nothing. That was perfect. I really didn't want to see this kind of come into this area, just wick too fast and then shoot the other way. Like that wasn't something I wanted to have to deal with. So I'm still content with my decision, although that's almost a 2-to-1. It literally is a 2-to-1 and done. Gold's coming back around though, or at least trying to. At least it's trying to. Kurt, you're still using JGS 1 minute or 2 minute?
I go back between I don't do the one anymore, just the two or the five.
So price breaks, closes, and you're only giving it 5 or 10 points as a stop loss too, huh?
Yeah.
That's not bad at all. Because you're gonna That means you're not losing on this crappy part here either, though, because it's so tight.
Right.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah. Like the candle that I just got the 5 points on that you called out for the short was the second. I guess it would have been what the 4 minutes, 4 minutes after 8 o'clock.
Not bad.
It's the longer of the candles that I'm looking at right now.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm on my phone. I can't be. I don't have crosshairs to shoot on the candle right now and look at the exact time, but I
You're good.
think it's like 8:02, 8:04. So yeah, it's like the biggest down candle there recently.
Do you have the 20 up?
Uh-huh.
You have the 20 moving average or the 14 or
13.
13? That's what it is. Because that would break
Mm-hmm.
on the tip of this. It's kind of smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. I love it. Honestly, I like how clean it is, especially with being able to kind of go back on MT5. I took a really good entry on NQ. Gold is just playing around. I'm in profit, but just it's playing around. Where was I? Couldn't have been this one, so it had to have been this one. We broke back below. Cool. I entered. I targeted that little imbalance or kind of my area of interest. It tapped me out, wicked back up. So I'm right literally in here perfectly, and then wicked back up and was done. So 470 on this one trade. It was just clean, beautiful. We're in profit. Eh, not too much. Still kind of playing around. Right now we're rejecting on gold. I really want some follow through here. At least into here. I don't think that's too big of an ask. It just might be a little choppy to get there. So it depends. If you're happy with the profit you've made, close. Okay. It's not a lot of dollars, but the size of the range is not a lot of dollars. It's not a very big range. So now you have to decide risk to reward wise, even if you're using your whole range as your stop loss, you're currently sitting somewhere at, because remember I entered a little bit late, but you're sitting somewhere at 1, 2, 1.5. That's a 2 to 1 right here is a 2 to 1. So even with price right here, you're at a 1.5 to 1 risk reward trade. Not perfect, small range. So the dollar amount is misleading sometimes. You might see a huge number here, but you're actually not that much risk to reward wise. Right now, we're seeing a small number, but you have a much smaller range that you're dealing with. So up to you on how you want to manage it, but totally up to you. Where's the one that I did take? Oh, it's not mirroring to. I thought I enabled my take profit. I did not. So here's the trade I took on NQ. Just easy entry, broke the trend line, simple, scaled out of one here, let the other one tap me out, and then it reversed right back up. Kind of perfect. Kind of perfect. But that account's not mirrored. Just little baby bits. This isn't going very far, very fast. I would definitely be locking profits versus giving it back. Again, you're coming up on almost a 2 to 1 risk to reward. I know it doesn't look like a lot of dollars, but that is a 2 to 1 almost here, which is not bad. It's 200%. I'm already trying to pull back right now. By the time I get into here, so what is that? 334, 3334. Definitely be locking and protecting. Just give it
I
the
went
time.
ahead and threw a screenshot in the Discord of that trade real quick, just so you'll have it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. And David said 385 done for the day. Which instrument, David? Well, I want to go see.
Well, I took gold first, and then I saw NQ, and I took that as well. But I messed up on gold because it was a buy I took, and it was a mess up. So I had to quickly turn that off and then wait for it to retest and come back in. So I lost a little bit on my mistake, but still, I'm done for the day.
Not bad.
I have been doing pretty good with the done for the day thing, whether I lose or not.
I'm loving that. I'm working on that thought process because it's not an easy thought process for a market that's always moving. And then if you're not trading right here and somebody else posts this, it's very it's very misleading. You go to jump back in and you happen to buy or something, and we know the story. We've all been there. But 385 done for the day on one account just until your payouts are coming. You at least get one payout, or maybe you're doing it on two accounts. That's a lot of money on the month. It's more than most people make at their job. I know it's not like Maserati money by any means, but what do we say, 385?
Well, that's a little bit over what I make a day. I make 350 a day.
Okay. Well, either way, you don't make 350 a day in 5 minutes though, do you?
No,
Okay.
no,
That
that's better money I made today. So,
$8,000. Figure 80% of that is going to be yours. That's still
yeah,
six a month for 5 minutes a day.
that's pretty that's pretty good.
Yeah, if we would stop at 5 minutes, though. I know I'm not the only
Yeah. See, and
one.
that's the whole thing that I've been battling with is learning to stop. I don't know. Um I was I was ready to quit because it's the same thing over and over and over again. I had a little prayer time with God yesterday and something happened. I don't know. It's good though. I've accepted losses and I don't ever do that. So
That's healthy.
I feel like I don't know. I feel good. I feel like I'm conquering this mindset thing. So
I love
it's been a 4 year journey and
it.
it's not fun.
Well, if we go to like some of the calendars and we look at it and you see all the red days and green days, for starters, all we're trying to do is and think about what is it, Jared Tendler's, inward concept. Everyone is trying to get their green days bigger. Everyone's trying to get their winning trades more, 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 more. But that's not how you move an inchworm. You move an inchworm by making sure we're bringing that back end up as well at the same time. And if we don't do that, we can't pull you. Sorry, as my mouth is making you guys all dizzy, but you can't pull that way. You have to. You have no choice but to maybe say, wait, let's relook at this, let's rethink about this, and get the red days maybe a little less red. Okay, a little less blowing of the account on a red day, a little bit more, hey, I took a $300 red day versus blew the whole account, which is we all know $3,000 red day. Here we go. We're totally reversing.
That's exactly where I'm at. So yesterday was a $300 red day. And as soon as
Another.
I saw it, I closed the computer and I said, I'm good with that.
Okay, see?
Because I even was telling Josh about it. I was like, man, I'm having a hard time protecting my capital. That's the whole thing that I am struggling with is protecting my capital. And I don't know, man, something's God. I really believe God talked to me yesterday, and I'm a firm believer in Him, and I believe He's helping me. So
Well, I'm happy for you. Honestly, I am. Are you just doing 6 a.m. and 8 p.m., right?
same old, 6 a.m. and Sydney, and I've noticed for a couple days the indices have been really weird.
I love it when people say that because honestly, I feel like the last few days they've just been so smooth. Like I'm on anchor right now. Like
Well, at 6 a.m. they have been.
that's probably why, because it's been smooth for me, so it hasn't been smooth for
Yeah.
you. Like that's
Yeah, we
the deal
trade
is.
different times, Jenny.
Fair, fair. So here's your
But gold, I mean, I don't know. I think gold just smooth at that time in the morning. And actually this morning I was trying to trade MES last night and I didn't. That's how I didn't make a good. It wasn't trading good, so I took the loss. And then this morning, I made up with it. Uh, for I won back everything, the 300 plus a $85 win, and I closed the computer. Didn't try to chase nothing, or so I think I'm making some baby steps here.
That's awesome. That's all we can do. That's
And
honestly
I
all.
was looking at my dashboard on the TradeZilla, and that profit factor is 0.96. Is that good?
I think last we spoke, it was less than that, so I think that's good. Um,
And the
uh,
win rate is still 28.57.
that's not good.
The day win is 50%. The day win, I guess, but this is over a bunch of trashed accounts, though. I
So when you trash an account,
archive.
I know it's really feels good to just, quote, delete it, but honestly, archive it instead because then you get to keep the data. But
Yeah.
a win rate, believe it or not, a win rate of like 55, 60%, you're technically profitable in theory with about a little more than a 1-to-1. Like this is not, I know it doesn't look sexy to get 50% to lose that often. It feels bad. It makes you feel like you're failing. It makes you feel like it's not enough. But the win rate, I don't know what it was then. I think definitely is what we focus on now. And the profit factor. Because what did I tell you? I told you the same thing as what I was talking to Robert about, which is pretty simple that for starters, we're not trying to go and get from point A to New Zealand. It's not going to happen. And it just hurts to try to go on that journey. Instead, if we're on point A, our next goal is to get to B or C or D, which B or C or D is not necessarily a withdrawal or all the cool things. B or C or D is simply on my red day, I didn't blow. My profit factor is up by point 0.2, right?
Yes.
Those are the milestones we want to be targeting because those are the ones we can reach. Right now, imagine you sitting at your desk trying to reach your front door. You can't reach there. It doesn't matter what go gadget, we try to do it. We can't reach it from here. We got to start with where we're at. So focusing on that profit factor, yes, focusing on that win rate. 27% overall, though, that's including like all the wild decisions and everything for a long time. So maybe also when you go to your TradeZella, look at this month's data instead of like the whole picture. Look at this month's data to see what that improvement is. Because it's really hard to undo an average that you've got going on for like 6 months or a year.
Well, this is data since we have talked, so it's about a month worth.
You're sure it's not including anything that was in there from before we had talked?
Mm, maybe.
Hmm.
No, because I deleted some accounts. Jenny, since we talked, I've blown 7 or 8 accounts.
Hey, that's way less than some of the big guys. That's progress.
Well,
And that should feel good.
if
Okay.
you could see how many I counted, I counted before we got on, and I had blown 33 accounts.
Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah, so it's all, and I've noticed it was all the same struggle. It's 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 not protecting the capital, and then not wanting to lose. It's just chasing it. But I really think that something has shifted in me, and I think I'm going to be okay.
Well, amen to that. It's we're allowed to take a loss, and that's what I want people to know is people always like jump off a call and be like, oh man, I took a loss. This is a failure. This is a losing. No, it's not. Losing needs to be part of your big picture, and if it's not healthily part, even if it's like if this range was huge, for example, like sometimes the loss is not as easily digested. I get it, but I hope you're back. Are you back down to micros now instead of minis?
I am, I've never been on minis.
Oh. Micros, because micros will help too. I personally think it's really hard to blow an account with micros, unless you're like DCAing in or just like the technical errors. I think it's really hard to blow an account with micros.
Yeah. I, I'm also, I purchased another book called The Best Loser Wins,
Oh, that's a good.
and
Do you like it? I haven't read that
it's
one.
it's talking about losing because I know I was a bad loser. I, I have been a bad loser.
It's not good. Not good at all.
No,
I know that book. I know that book. Sorry, I'm in the car if there's any echoing or anything like that. But first off, to David, that's a really great quality that you have as a trader to even come out and be transparent and say how many accounts that you've blown, and do that while you have Jenny here, because you're reaching out to your family. You know, the people who are in the same struggle. The only people who are going to be able to identify with trading what you do, because what we do is a niche that it's really hard for us to even, talk to family members about and all that, because people don't understand. And a lot of times they can look at it like gambling, and it can be like gambling, but there's a lot of different things that goes into trading. It's not just as straightforward as most people would think. So the fact that you can even come out and be transparent and say that and do the struggle, and you're not the only one. We all deal with that in blowing accounts, especially with prop firms. I know, like, whenever I blow an account or anything like that, and I've mentioned this before, trading your normal account is easier than a prop firm, especially if you have a plan and you can apply it and you know that it's worked and you back test it. You do have an edge. The reason I say that it's more difficult because psychologically, with a prop firm, if you make a lot of progress in a week and you lose some of that progress, it's like if you're not in the positive as far as your equity, and when I say in the positive, when you've actually reached the max daily drawdown or end of day drawdown, what happens is that you may have built $1,000 equity within 1 week on the account, and in the second week you lost that thousand. Technically, on your account, you're break even, right? Or maybe up $100 if you only lost 900 of it. But as far as in your PA, you now only have $1,000 to work with because you have an end of day drawdown. So it's not like when you're stacking on a regular account and you have small wins, and then if you have the losses and the wins sort of they balance each other out. But on prop firms, until you're funded and until you've actually made positive equity on the account, you can't do that. So that's sort of why Jenny also mentioned the micros and trading the micros and doing the one micro or whatever. It's sort of an easier way psychologically to not mess with your brain. So even when you do take a loss, if you're trading one micro or two micros or whatever, you lost $100, $80, $200 maybe max on the account on the position, depending on your size. That's a lot easier to deal with than losing $400 or $500 because we are going to lose. No matter how great of a trader you are, there's going to be a day that you're going to lose or the market's irrational. And there's a big difference if it's a $400 hit compared to a couple $100.
That 100%. Thank you, Jonathan. Like honestly, the other thing, guys, so on what is it, Ninja Trader, it's showing you like the whole. So if you just have 20 accounts with Apex, and they're all the smallest accounts, by the way, not even the big ones, you blew $1 million in funding, and this number just it feels some kind of way. Like that's how much funding technically you just blew. Now, granted, we know you didn't blow $1 million. You blew a quarter of a percent of that, I'm sure, because of all the rules, but to see this go away, I think it psychologically feels different because if you're in your live account, you take some good trades, some bad trades, but your account is still there next week. Even if you wanted to walk away or like take a beat, you can do that. But in prop firms, you feel like a quote failure because you quote failed the account. It's not a failure though. Those people on YouTube who are pushing the 20, 50 bajillion accounts, they're blowing 20 accounts at a time. They're blowing five accounts on, the ones that offer five, six on the one that offer six, 20 on the one that offer 20. And they're doing a lot. So if you have seven accounts this month and you're still at it, I feel like, yeah, you are definitely not alone. And on top of which, I promise you're not nearly as bad as you think either. It's just the money management in between and the whole locking of profits. It's huge. And sometimes locking profits might mean you get knocked out, and that sucks a lot. I think that's one of the hardest things for me coming from the background that I came from. I was so used to catching this move or a good portion of this move that it was peaceful. Now I feel like I'm like, I got knocked out. That sucks. I got knocked out. And I feel like I'm not doing a quote good job, but I think you're on a good path, honestly. David,
Yeah, I switched to I've tried all kinds of risk, and I think I'm at a sweet spot at 200. I risk 200, and then I am really learning to catch that break even. I'm trying to find the sweet spot for that. So I've done it to where it's like 3/4 of the way. I think I move it when it's like 3/4 of the way to one, like 175, 185. I'll move it to break even, and
No,
then whatever happens, happens. And if it takes me out and there's a way to get back in that's decent, I'll get back in. But
it's and price
I'm
action's not
trying not
always
to look
clear.
at the money too. I'm trying just to look at the system.
That's hard for me. I told you guys the other day I kind of want to remove the dollars on Trade but I can't do that because I'm managing so many things. So I kind of want to see the dollars gone. This way I can just manage my trade. But we all know that on some of those firms, if I let the trade go this far and this much back, which isn't a huge retracement by any means, but in New York session with lots of volume, this could be huge. This could be enough to blow the intraday drawdown. So I don't think I can turn off the dollar amount, but in my dreams I can.
Yeah, I can't turn it off either because I'm watching. I mean, but I usually just stare at it, and I've been trying to watch what the market's doing instead,
You know what you
and then
could
kind of glance.
You could move your trading view window kind of over that portion of the screen if you kind of get the feeling, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I already did that.
Like,
But
like it's a good
but
idea.
the yeah, but the trader bait's still up because I'm watching my drawdown.
Well, like, so if you, because you're trading with two different windows, right?
Yeah, I've got two
Okay, so
screens. I got Trader Bait on one screen and Trading View on the other.
so take a sticky note, like the Microsoft or Apple sticky notes, and put
Oh, and put it over the money.
and just put it right here, and then watch price action. Okay, you can still see your trailing drawdown down here on
Oh,
the
that's a good
trading.
idea.
Try that.
Yeah.
That might help, guys.
Actually, you can take that dollar off of there on
I know.
Trader Bait if
I
you,
don't want to take it off. Like to me, I think a
yeah.
sticky note is probably a good idea because at least with this, well, no, because you can still see it down here anyways. You can see the amount.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, never
Yeah.
mind.
I bet on the Trading View, I move the screen down so I can't see it, but I can still see it on Tradeovate. So I have to physically look over to Tradeovate to look at the money. So it's not right in front of me.
See, not bad.
It's just it's my little recipe. So
Hey, if it works, it works. Honestly, that's it. Well, well, ladies and gentlemen, we came to hung out a little bit. We caught gold a little bit. Did not take NQ on the day that it was perfectly smooth during Asian. Go figure. This has not quite yet closed above this range. So if you want to take another entry after we break at this trend line, for example, you can look to do that. But for right now, one of the reasons I wouldn't be super excited about that is big bullish full body close here. Okay, we got one here. Let's try to see if I can get off of that. One here, and then even this one was a strong rejection. So we've got a lot of candle formations telling us we've got some upward potential. So maybe let's decide not to go chase this. I mean, if we break back below, maybe, but otherwise we got about a 2 to 1, pretty close to a 2 to 1, so a little less than a 2 to 1 out of this trade. I didn't get that much. I barely got 30 some odd dollars, but overall, not a bad way to be. And here we go. We're breaking out now. Got 22 seconds left on that candle. NQ was the great one this morning, or this evening, I should say. Beautiful. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's also a 2 to 1. So this is still just a 2 to 1 on the risk that you took. It's not a lot, not in general, but it's pulling
What
back.
you looking at long term for NQ for the week? You
I,
looking for more downside of a
I
pullback, or you
do.
think we got enough to go up more?
No, I do. So tomorrow's reversal Wednesday, they say, right? So I'm hoping we consolidate or sit flat or kind of pull back up a little bit. This is the daily, so let's turn everything off. I'm tracking this a lot. Actually, let's hide all for a second. Remember, this has moved 40%, you guys, 40% without a sizable retracement. So just to show you guys, and we know when we talk about this stuff, and these things don't move 40% in a year. We've moved 40% since April. And I know we've got Nvidia pushing this. We've got a lot going on with the crypto market. I know that there's a lot of reasons, but there's also a lot of reasons for this to fall fundamentally. But since I am not a fundamental expert, nor do I understand enough of that to speak on it with any intelligence, let's skip that and talk price action. I really just want to see that kind of 5%-ish drop back down. I mean, a 5% drop back down to this, that's the 22 200s. So the 2222s, anywhere into this range. I'd like to see at least, we've got a nice excursion from the all-time highs. We hit all-time highs again today. Okay. All-time highs. Whereas ES and them didn't either. So nice wick. This is the daily candle. So I like how this closed as a daily candle. I'd like to leave that wick untouched and I'd like to leave it untouched, but we'll see. If we go back to previous all-time highs, most of them are not looking like that. We got this nice little retracement, kind of looks like today's price action. But I would like to see a 5% minimum, 17%. We still have gaps down all the way down into here. And just so you guys know, percentage, actually we got gaps all the way down into here, but I think that's going to be too big of an ask. Just so we know where that's at percentage wise, check this out. From the high, this is a 12 to 17%, 12 to 13% from where the kind of that top is. This is all the way down to a 20% retracement. Now that's obviously not going to happen in a day, okay? It's not going to happen in a week even. But I'd like to see this continue to sell, at least give us that 3 to 5% drop all the way into the 22,200s, 22,150s. But we'll see, because remember, that's also previous highs. 22,450s to 250s, those are previous highs. So bare minimum, I'd like to come tap and dance around this area, but we'll see. Because this market's kind of not following a lot of the rules we think. We did, however, just break that. Look how messy this chart is. Sorry about that, y'all. Sorry, hide indicators. We did just break that hourly trend line. So hopefully we get a nice retracement up into this little imbalance and trend line overnight. Hopefully we don't do reversal Wednesdays where we just kind of keep pushing up. I hope maybe we happens on Wednesday, but I just don't think they're going to give us 3% on Wednesday. And I've been focusing more on the whole percentage thing too. So that's, I think, cleaned up some of the scalping trades I've done. This is 22.5. I just don't think they're going to give us, I mean, they could, but I feel like Trump would have to say something to get 3.7% of a drop. But we've done it a lot of times in the last few months, so we'll see. Not on one day, but we'll see. I want to come into here. We finally got it. And go look at US 30 too. Well, YM. So YM broke structure. I mean, we have broke down. We've broke down pretty well. Same kind of concept. We're below yesterday's close. I want to come all the way down to the 43 500s on YM. Easy target. Easy peasy target. We'll see if we actually get it though. It's a lot of, actually I got to go up a time frame to see those targets better because that's not the only target. So we've got 43 500 and then all the way into these areas. So at least into this area, but we'll see. And then ES, look at all the divergence we have. Just topped out. So we really did not want to get above this. I really want to get this retracement because on ES, let's see how big that is on ES. It's only a 2 to 3%. It's 3 something point something percent. So we'll see if we get it.
Yeah,
We'll
in the
see.
big picture, it has pulled back as much. Like it seems like a lot because it's been overly bullish for so long. And when anybody sees a pullback these days, they view it as like the pullback. And now that we're going back up, but in the big scheme of things, like you said, yeah, we're definitely due for a lot bigger retracement. Whether or not we get it
Yeah,
right now is actually a question. But
that
yeah,
is a question.
definitely looks like more value in that direction. Absolutely.
Do you think what might be time yet? Because this is 31%, you guys. We've done that in April, May, June, and half of July. We've done 31%.
Well, August, leading into August too, that tends to be some of the times here historically where we've had like months where we've had some pullbacks a little bit and being down in the market, and then that ramp up, leading into the fall season or whatnot. Even with that daily candle on the Nasdaq, that wick basically back into the consolidation. So for like the last like 6 days, 7 days or so, basically we've been consolidating back and forth. And then it went out of that, burst out of that, but it was a failed attempt to the upside just to retest and create new highs, and then to pull back in. So now we're back in that, pretty much in that daily consolidation zone. And then if we go past that and maybe get a break below that, then maybe we can reach some of those targets that you were showing us.
You think we have to break the highs again?
Well, I'm saying break to the downside for it to, pull lower to some of those pullback opportunities that you just pointed out. But right now, with the close of that candle, it's really back in that consolidation, looking at the daily on the NASDAQ.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. I want to see, guys. I really want to see this dump, but I just don't think we're getting the 20% on NQ or ES. I think even the 17%, which there's literal gaps and imbalances all the way down there. I think that's even going to be a big ask, but I feel like 3 to 5, easy target, kind of retest previous highs, and this is a big time frame, so that's where I'm looking, but we'll see if we get it. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We had big news today that really didn't do much on the charts, at least, not this time. This is the 4 hour. Let's see if we can get out of this zone. We gotta get below the 62 to 250s on in ES. It's gotta get below that. But we'll see. All right, guys. Well, hey Joshua. I even got your name right. Welcome.
One
Hi,
more
hi.
too, maybe.
Go ahead.
I'll make it real quick. Just really just shooting the, you know what, but you saw the all-time highs with the Bitcoin. Now it went down, it pulled back, but it went up to at least 120.
I know.
121, I think it actually went. So like anybody who would have gotten in a position around July, I think you were at about 109. So I guess it like went up about 10%, like within a month, about a few months time.
Well, this is almost what is that, a 20% increase
Yeah.
Yeah,
since
it was the high was 123, 233.
Oh, okay.
that's crazy. People said swore it would never happen.
Man, you could have caught that sell to where it is. That's like a 6% drop.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think one of my apps told me, hey, Bitcoin's down 4%.
That was a 6% drop. That'd have been some good money.
When
That's it.
Bitcoin moves, it moves, baby. It moves up
Yeah,
or
it
down.
sure does.
Yes. And
What's
look,
interesting though is now you're seeing that how much more it's being talked about institutionally, and now banks are trying to gain access to that because that's where the capital is going. So banks want to manage it, and they're trying to push things out to. I think even some things have gotten passed where, they're trying to make it legal where, banks can take custody of Bitcoin and people can invest, through that. So, sort of the same thing where all the big firms and all that, they, carry bonds and all that and put people's money into that. So they want more exposure to that. And it's gonna be interesting these next few years to the rest of this administration to see what's going on because you went from one administration who was totally against giving regulations for crypto to one now that's proven actually their family actively investing in it. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm thinking though too that we've been going up for a lot. So like in the back of my head, it tells me that we're due for some sort of major pull back before we get the next push up. Now we may push up a little bit more and even see new higher highs before that pullback, but I think we're going to get a pullback at some point in time within the next year or so. That's going to make people squirm and hurt and make people get rid of some of the Bitcoin they've been holding on. The people with a shorter time preference before the move up. But institutions are here to stay. Once BlackRock and Once all these all these big institutions have got in, and the government and all that is starting to get in, um, crypto ain't going nowhere, bro. It's not going anywhere, y'all.
I know
Th-
it's here.
They're already giving loans on crypto. Banks are.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I,
it's
I
the
wondered if we're
future.
gonna have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That is definitely the future. Definitely, I see, you know, I see the government coming out with one that's like the dollar, not USDT or USDC. They're going to put their stamp on something like the dollar, but I guarantee you this is here to stay, and more people are getting wise to it and starting to grab onto it. Institutions are not going to let go of Bitcoin. I'm, the people like you and I, we might sell, but they're going to gobble up as much as they can, and there's only so much of it.
Absolutely. And it's the sort of the easiest way too, like as far as exchange of money and funds that because people who are moving big dollars in where it's accepted, they're able to wire. I mean, imagine being able to wire millions of dollars with very low fees and get it sent from point A to point B quickly. Jenny has expressed some of her difficulties even just trying to move a couple $1,000s. I mean, 10K or whatever. Um, so banks are fully aware of it, and they want to have exposure. They're just not going to let go of the hold that they've had for such a while, and they're not going to fall without a fight. So that may be that transition and all that. But the conspiracy theory person in me is saying that I feel like we're also due for like a .com bubble type of situation because there's so many cryptos, there's so much trash that's out there as well. So I feel like that has to be balanced out, and the imposters have to be sort of exposed. So I don't know if there's going to be. Again, this may not happen. Again, this is sort of a conspiracy theory. This is just my feeling, but I feel at some point in time we're going to have something where it's going to cause a shockwave and maybe even a year or a longer time period of having a down market before everything gets cleaned up and then back to the upside where we know the people who are going to be here for the long term. And then now this is where you have the full adoption. Because another way that you can view that you even hear early is if you talk to people who are not like really proactive in investing, just like the normal people out there in society. How many of them you think own custody of Bitcoin or any sort of crypto? Not many. So that's where you know that you're still early.
Yeah, and I would be watching. Bitcoin's good to hold. I would be watching because eventually the banks are going to turn to it, and the old system of swiping credit cards and all that, what they're using now, the nodes and all that, it's going to be irrelevant. And things like XRP, people say, oh, it's not going to do anything because of Ripple. Well, I believe that XRP is going to be one of the top 10 coins because it moves money so fast. It moves it, I don't know, 50 times faster than Bitcoin ever would. So I, you know, I don't know much about, but I sure like to learn about it. And I'm keeping my eye on the ones that are going to be used. You know, if they're going to be used, those are the ones that we need to invest in.
Yeah. All of the institutional money. I'm sorry, Jenny. Go ahead.
Oh no, I said 100%. Like, and for those of you guys who don't know, inside the Discord, we've got Future Millionaire who drops altcoins too. So if you're looking just to participate a little bit, there's quite a bit of value in there. Some of those have went up, a bajillion% in the Discord. So definitely take a look at that because that's going to be a big deal. But I don't know. I'm really kind of curious to see which ones actually end up sticking around because they all can't be processors. It'll thin the market too much. So I think that they're going to do I agree with Jonathan. They're going to clean house. They have to because we can't have that many different servers. Like we can, but it just thins the market too much and nobody wants that. Somebody's going to be the monopoly. We know that Ethereum, we know the Ethereum network is going to be still hard to beat. And then Bitcoin, I still think, what is it, Solana and Poly, like those are very, very good contenders. But the networks, I still think are going to be the ones making the cake, taking most of the cake. And I don't know if XRP has its own, transfer network the same way that the other ones do. I don't know if it is or not. So we'll see.
You see, even too though, with the you saw how the who was it? Who's that entrepreneur that Trump made the crypto czar? I think David Sachs. Um, so they're trying to be on the head of it. Is right now, a lot of these nations are trying to fight to, I guess, be the not the entrepreneurs, but the in be the I guess the first people to actually take crypto and be embrace it, physically in there. But there's a lot of unknown and all of that and things that still have to be worked out. So I guess that will find itself over time. We'll eventually find out who's here to stay and what works and what doesn't work. And everything too does amount to adoption. Ultimately, the public has to adopt it and want to adopt it for it to succeed.
True. It's funny, way back here, we knew this was going to drop. We dropped straight into that imbalance. We stayed here for a couple of weeks, and that's when we took off. And that was back in January. This is where we were marking that up. It's not I don't know. I marked up a little bit here. These are previous highs I'd be targeting for those of you guys who are already in or whatever. Definitely be careful because some amount of a retracement might be coming. Maybe, baby. Maybe, maybe. That's all we got is maybe. Always a maybe. So. But guys, if you don't know, again, shameless plug, check out the Discord. We've got a little bit of crypto stuff going on in there. We've got a nice little forum and just a community being built. If you have not already done so, please check out the website, www.six, well, I guess maybe no W's, but I don't know about that part. Either way, the website is sixfiguretradingcoach.com. And all the things that we're building, including Dragonfly. We've got another EA that's going to be released soon. We've got Breakout automation releasing soon. We've got quite a bit of really cool stuff on there, so definitely go check it out. For right now, everything is still running really at promotion because we're testing all the automation and all those things. But on that note, let's take a look real quick. We already know if this is pulling back, I would want to fill that gap for sure. So that's a 2% drop from where we're currently at. But coming back now to reality in our pairs, NQ has pushed down a little bit, but it's pulling back up. That's a 15-minute time frame. Still really respecting that imbalance. So I'd be careful with the trades you're taking. Beautiful JGS here. Easy trade, easy money, simple, clean, no nonsense, no drama. And of course, we're coming back in, clearing this out. Let's see if we get that retracement or not. Gold got a 2-to-1. A lot of other pairs got a 2-to-1, but we popped right out and then we came right all the way back down. So not in love with the price action. We got what we could get and we didn't throw a fit. And that's that. So on that note, thank you all for coming and hanging out. If you have questions, comments, all that stuff, put them in the chat. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and do all the things that make YouTube say woohoo to this video. And otherwise, I will see you guys on Thursday in our 9:30 class. Don't get trapped up tomorrow. 1, 2 trades is it. Happy trading. Take care and God bless. Bye, guys.
Everyone.